black walkway.
Yeah.
This eight hold here?
Yeah, you can hold that, and you can hold the other one as well to help lower yourself in. And I'll adjust your jacket in case it rides
stand
up.
on the seat.
Oh, stand on the seat.
Yep.
Both three.
And then just lower yourself in.
Right, say for yourself.
Right. Now the big difference between this and the chipmunk is that you've got the old-fashioned turn and slip. So don't worry about that. We'll do that once the engine starts running.
Okay.
So, ear cups nicely on your ears. Just pull that nicely over your head. And then just do up the chin strap. Is that comfortable?
Yeah.
It's not sort of hurting your ears or anything?
No, no.
Excellent. I'm just going to pull out that chin strap a bit. And if you've got the other end of the chin strap, right? Can you reach that? Up there? Can you attach that yourself, do you think?
Where does the start time?
There's another. I've got that one on that side. This is that one on this side. I've got this one on this side.
Switches off.
Contact. Contact.
Switches off.
Off.
Contact.
Contact.
Switches off.
Off.
Contact.
Contact.
Switches off.
Off.
absolute pleasure, that was. It was that turn, that tight turn. I was like,
Lord will
I'm
get
not sure an F-16 could do that.
that's ridiculous.
I was given the opportunity earlier this year to finally get my instructor's rating, and my good friend Kevin Rowell, who runs the advanced flight training outfit at nearby Sherburn, not too far away from Breighton, and we've been friends for a long time, ever since I flew his first Chipmunk. And as I mentioned, he's always been sort of pecking away at me, you know, you really ought to become an instructor, you really ought to become an instructor. And then finally, in May of this year, he happened to be on the telephone to somebody who needed a Tiger Moth pilot. And I just happened to walk in to his office at that moment. And he said, Dennis has just arrived, he can fly a Tiger Moth. And then the voice on the phone said, yeah, but has he got an instructor's rating? No. So he's no good to me then, because he needs to be able to fly for hire and reward. And then Kevin looked at me and said, do you want to go for it? Do you want to go for it now? And I said, okay, let's do it. So I did it, got my instructor's rating, and the first place I landed, no pun intended, was here, because this is where they wanted someone to fly the Tiger Moth, or an extra pilot to fly the Tiger Moth. And that started at the end of May this year, and weather permitting, I've been doing that every weekend. And they are essentially introductory flights, and sometimes the whole family turns up. So behind that fence, there'll be the extended family sometimes, for granddad or dad, who's having their cliche alert once in a lifetime flight. And the thing is, you never know who you're going to meet, you never know the background of these people.
That's part of the fun, isn't it?
That's part of the fun. And some of them are inevitably ex-Air Force, and they're always interesting. Some aren't ex-Air Force, but they're ex-industry. So I flew one guy fairly recently who designed, or helped to design, for Redifon, the Concorde simulator.
Oh, wow.
You know, I let you fly the aeroplane. I set up a datum attitude for you, which you followed, and then I took the aeroplane back from you, and we did some slow flying to demonstrate how the slats come out on the upper main plane. And then we recovered back to Breighton. And it was the weather could have been a lot chillier. It's not been too bad today. So I haven't frozen you to death. You've still got.
I'm still here.
You're still here, and you've still got locomotor functions, and your extremities are still working. So that's good. But no, it's been a pleasure to fly you today, and I must thank the Real Aeroplane Company at Breighton, because they gave us permission to do this trip today, and of course they are worthy of an interview all by themselves, and nothing would happen here without the Real Aeroplane Company. So big thank you to them. But how did you find your Tiger Moth flight, Mike?
Absolutely incredible, and I did have some hands-on time as well, so
You
I can
did?
say I've flown a Tiger Moth.
So you have indeed, and you discovered that the Tiger Moth is not a difficult aeroplane to fly, but it does. The reason why it was such a great trainer is that you've always got to fly the aeroplane. I remember Desmond Penrose, who was famous to have test pilot, still with us, who said very wisely, you've got to fly the Tiger Moth all the time. So even on the ground, you're flying it. You're flying it right up until the moment the chocks go under the wheels, and then you can relax. But until then, you've got to be on it like a car bonnet. And that's why it's such a great training aeroplane.
And does it ever get that sensation of taking off in a Tiger Moth? Does that ever go away, or is it every day like the first flight?
It never pales, because you're always trying to do the best takeoff you can, keep the aeroplane going straight, and it accelerates actually quite quickly. I think Hubert Broad once remarked when asked how long does it take to get airborne in a Tiger Moth. I think he measured the run, or someone did, measured the run at 156 yards. And we've had a lot of rain today, and so the airfield's a little bit heavy underfoot. So I think probably we are nearer the 200 yard mark today rather than 156. But she really does like to get going very quickly, and I just let the aeroplane climb. I just let the aeroplane climb, And when we come into land, I just slow the aeroplane down nice and progressively. And today, because we've got a little bit of a crosswind, I decided to do a wheeler landing and keep the aeroplane on her toes, so I've got good directional control until we slow down sufficiently, so that when the tail skid hits the greensward, I can be reasonably confident that the aeroplane's going to go where I want it to go. But I have had my moments on the ground in a Tiger Moth where the fence has appeared rather too suddenly for my liking, and I've instinctively reached for the brake in the Tiger Moth, in the Chipmunk, and realised, of course, there isn't one. So it's important at that stage to remember the best way to stop is to cut the mags and let the engine just die, and then all things being equal, especially if you've got a nice wingman to help you, you'll come to a stop before any excessive paperwork is involved.
Mm-hmm. So obviously I went up today and it was a trip of a lifetime, absolutely amazing. What can the people expect to do when they come for their trip?
Well, we do various trips. I think the details are going to go up on the screen, Mike. We do various trips from 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, a full fat hour. And in that time, even on the half-hour trip, we've got time to take you over the Yorkshire Air Museum, have a good look at Breighton Airfield and York. And on the way back, because we're near to Goole, you'll get a good view of the Humber estuary going out towards the bridge, and on a really good day, you can actually see the bridge.
Brilliant stuff. So how much in advance do people have to book it, or can you book it on the weekend and then you go and fly the next week, or is it months?
Well, Alison, whose aeroplane this is, she runs the business, and she's actually quite old school in the sense that she will actually answer the telephone. It might be on the answer phone as well, but she will answer the telephone, and you can get in touch with her via email and on the internet. And this year now we're in the sort of close down or close out period of the year, so we're going to probably party a bit more in December than fly, and then pick everything back up again in the spring. But in between that, if we get those lovely crisp winter days, we'll fly staff, because without people like Alan, who's been our ground crew today, we wouldn't get airborne. We are totally dependent on a ground crew to get the engine running, to swing the prop, to look after the aeroplane, and to help put the aeroplane away and at the beginning of the day's flying. So it's a real team effort, and I have to say this is a happy team, which is one of the principal reasons I really enjoy flying the Tiger Moth for Alison.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you and Alison personally, just to say thank you very much for inviting me.
Mike, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I can still see the colour of your cheeks is the same as it was before we took off, so I must have done something right.
Absolutely. Cheers.